Dear Diary, if I'm not supposed to make goals right now, what the heck am I supposed to do? Hi, I'm Jenna, and I am the host of the Book of Jenna. And in my last podcast, I talked about how this time of year really is not the time to set. Well, I wouldn't say it's not the time to set goals. You can set goals whenever you want, right? Literally, whenever the heck you want. But I think one thing that I have been in conversation with people around this calendar new year is that we are setting goals in January and we are falling off of them in January because they didn't happen soon enough. Um, One thing I typically talk about a lot is the gym, and the reason is because I love it. It's where I feel most alive most days and where I get the most therapy most days. So, for me, I'm always going to reference back to the gym because that is who I am. If that doesn't resonate with you, change out the gym for anything else that resonates, okay? But I think that we see it all the time, right? I will tell you the gym was packed today. Packed. It was a Saturday and it was just balls to the wall in there. And the reason is because everybody has set their intention of their goal for the new year to work out, to feel better, to take better care of their body, to eat healthier, whatever it is, right? But a lot of us are setting goals that are focused around our bodies. And I think it's very important that you guys hear me when I say this is a long term play. Okay. Um, it is something that is not going to happen overnight. It is something that is not going to show you results in 2 weeks. And sadly, that's when most people quit. Is that 2 week mark, right? And we will see it in the gym. If you go to the gym, you already know we see it year after year after year. And I was talking to a friend at work, a colleague, and we were discussing her goals this year. She's getting married. She has a weight goal that she is hoping to achieve. She has a body image goal that she is hoping to achieve, and she's like, "But I don't like the gym." And I think that that is true for a lot of people. They don't like the gym. A lot of people feel as though we are watching you. We're not. And if we are, I will tell you 90% of the people are happy you're there. I know I've said this before, but I will say it again. We are so happy you are there. We are so proud of you. We're so excited for you to hit your fitness goals. We are so ready to watch you become you. The unfortunate part is that you're not. Because when you don't hit your goal in the 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks, you're like, I've been going to the gym for 2 weeks. Okay, I've been going to the gym for a long time. Long time. I mean, probably consistent for the last 10 years, but I will say probably for the last 20 years I have been going to the gym, you guys. 20 years. Hear me when I say this. 20 fucking years. Okay? So, if that tells you anything, this is a long play. It is not the short play. If you want the short play, you are going to fail. And I mean that with love, the most love, because it is a long play. Your goals for 2026 are a long game. Okay, you have 12 months to hit them. 12. So I think that's something that is really important that you prepare yourself for is that nothing is going to come to you overnight. And if it does, fuck yes. But 9 times out of 10, it's not going to come to you overnight. You are not going to be an overnight sensation. Not saying you can't be. I don't want to, I'm not trying to put limiting beliefs on you, but some things take time. Some things take experience. Some things take learning. So when you're going into your 2026 goals, I don't even want to call them resolutions because they're just goals, right? They're just goals of who you want to be this next year. And this is how I think I'm going to get there. That's all. Um, I want you to kind of think of it this way. You don't have to come out of the gate swinging. You don't have to start in a sprint. It's I find if you live in northern states where it is cold and not conducive to maybe being outside like you would want to, or maybe you feel like hibernating and not going to the gym. I want you to know that that is okay. But I also want to encourage you to find ways right now that you can move your body that bring you joy. And the reason being is if it brings you joy, you are 9 times out of 10 likely to stick to it. But if you are going to the gym to lift weights and that is literally the worst thing for you, you're not going to. In 2 weeks, you're going to be out the door like everybody else. So think of it this way, like right now until spring, we're kind of still in hibernation. We're still in a period of planning. Think about your garden, right? You're planning your garden if you live up north because you're the winter, you can't plant, right? You can't plant right now. You have to wait until the ground is thawed so that you can till the ground so that you can plant your seeds. Maybe you start your seeds early, but you're going to have to plant your what are they called? I don't even know what they're called off the top of my head, but the seedlings, there we go, where they're starting to sprout and they're starting to get some leaves. You can't plant them in frozen ground. It's kind of like where we are right now. Even if you're in the south, right? Like it is cooler. We are fortunate enough that our cooler temperatures are like 70 degrees. Um we're so blessed, honestly. But it's still a hibernation time. So do things that bring you joy during this time. Plan your goals. Start small. I would like to walk 3 times a week. I think that I can achieve that. And I know that if I can hit 3 times a week, by the time March is here, I'm probably going to be walking 5 to 6 days a week because I've just set small goals for myself. And I think that that is really the important thing. And that's something that we completely forget is that the small daily goals are the ones that make the biggest change in our life. You might not, I don't want to say probably, I don't want to put any limiting beliefs on people, but you may not see a lot of weight movement in the first month. That's okay because, you probably didn't gain a lot of weight in the first month of falling off whatever you were doing, or in the first month of changing your lifestyle, or whatever it is, right? You probably didn't gain 50 pounds in 30 days. You're not going to lose it in 30 days. And your body is going to need some adjusting, especially if you haven't been moving it. If you haven't been tending to your garden inside of you, your ground is frozen and we need to thaw her out, right? We need to thaw her out. How are we going to warm her up? Well, we're probably going to start by walking and doing things that just get the muscles going. And it goes for a lot of goals, you guys. I have some pretty incredible goals for my podcast this year, but I'm not going to hit them in January. Okay? I'm not, because I'm not ready to bring people on my podcast yet. I'm not ready to start doing video yet. There are things I have to figure out before I can hit that goal. And the same goes for you. So I really want you to be intentional with your goals this year. Be intentional with what's important to you And backwards plan. If you haven't listened to my podcast about backwards planning, I know it's somewhere on here. I'm sorry. You may need to listen to all of them, okay? Because I don't know exactly which one backwards planning is. But you are not always going to achieve things right away. And in a world where instant gratification is something that we are addicted to, I'm guilty of it. I wanted my new workout pants and I ordered them next day, right? Because I want them instantly. The same thought process is how we are looking at our goals. And that's why those people are walking out of the gym in 2 weeks, because it didn't happen instantly. You're not going to see shit on your body for about 4 to 6 weeks. You just aren't. You aren't going to notice a damn thing, but in 6 weeks, you're going to. 4 weeks, other people might notice, but you aren't even going to notice a difference until you've done it for 6 weeks. Now, that's the middle of February. How many of you are committed to your goals? How many of you are committed to yourself enough to give yourself 6 weeks before you quit? Not a lot of people, right? Because it didn't happen in 2, and I don't know about you, but them fatty cakes are calling my name, right? That's how it is. And so I think that if you aren't being realistic about how you gained the weight, you won't be realistic about how you lose the weight. They always say, like, when a woman gives birth, well, it took you 9 months to put on this weight. Give yourself 9 months to remove it. Same goes in anything, right? Even if you didn't get pregnant, you stopped working out, you stopped moving your body, you didn't take care of yourself for 9 months. Guess what? You're gonna have 9 to 18 months to get back to where you were. Sometimes it takes double. Are you committed to yourself, though? Are you committed to your goals enough that you can sacrifice for that long? Or that you can stay consistent for that long? You don't even have to sacrifice. Give yourself a cheat meal every week. Give yourself a fatty cake every week. One, not the entire thing and not every day, but you have to be realistic and you have to understand that your goals are not going to happen in January of 2026. Unless it's like, I want to purge my closet. Well, you could do that in a day, right? But things that are long term, things that require consistency from you, things that require a crazy amount of addiction to that outcome, you are going to go through it. You're going to be tested. You're going to be I don't even know what I want to say here, because I feel like the big thing is you're going to be tested, right? Really. The universe, God, whoever you believe in, right, is going to test you because they want to know, Jenna, do you really want this? Well, I do. Okay, well, we're going to give you some obstacles because I don't believe you. Because in the past, every time I gave you obstacles, you quit. Or in the past, when you got obstacles, it derailed you for 3 weeks. Are you really committed to yourself that even if it derails you for 3 weeks, you'll get back on and start over? Or are you going to say, well, I got derailed from my goal for 3 weeks. I guess that's it. I'm not going to lose weight this year. I'm not going to be in the best shape of my life because I would rather have convenience than consistency. I would rather eat all this shit than choose things that are good for me. It's easier for me to eat like crap. It's easier for me to skip posting content. It's easier for me to just not show up for myself. And honestly, when did you decide that you weren't good enough to show up for yourself? When? At what point in your life did somebody convince you that you weren't worthy of showing up for who you want to be? And why did we allow that person to convince us that we weren't worthy of our goals, that we weren't worthy to sacrifice, that we weren't worthy to stay consistent, that we weren't worthy of what we wanted? When did you allow someone to decide that for you? And I have to have this conversation with myself frequently. That's why this is so easy to say, because I just got done having this conversation with myself. Jenna, when did you decide you weren't worthy? When did you decide you weren't good enough? When did you decide you weren't enough? When did you decide that what you did wasn't good enough? Right? I'm so guilty of it. And I know you are too, especially as women. And you'll be like, well, I gotta take care of my kids, so I can't take care of myself. That's a bold-faced lie. Why are you lying to yourself? Why are you saying that your goals aren't worthy of sacrificing an hour for yourself, right? Like, really? And what are you teaching your kids? When you don't show up for yourself, what are you telling them? You're telling them that they're not going to be worthy of it either when they become your age, right? And that's the last thing I want. For me, especially, I don't want my daughter to ever think that she's not worthy of showing up for herself or that somebody else is more important than her and her goals. That's unfortunate and unfair. If I continue to put myself off, if I continue to put my goals off, all I'm doing is teaching her that hers aren't important either. And that's not true. And if I don't hit my goals, how is that going to impact her quality of life? Right? If you don't hit your goals for, say, you want to be a content creator and you are determined to do it, but one thing derails you and you quit for 3 weeks, in that 3 weeks, magic could have happened. But because you decided, well, I just don't have the time. Oh, I just don't feel like it. I don't know. And these are all things that I've said, so, whatever. Um, you could have made $50,000 in those 3 weeks, but because you decided, I'm too tired, you didn't. And I'm equally as guilty, 1,000% as guilty. And so I think that it's really important that you remember that you are worthy and you are good enough and you are important and what you do matters. It may not matter to the outside world, and who gives a shit? Fuck them. They don't care anyway. They just don't. But what you do matters. It matters to you. It matters to your children. It matters to your family. And if they don't think it matters, at the end of the day, it matters to you. And isn't that enough? Isn't that enough to say that this is all I need? I just need it to matter to myself? I think so. And so if you are setting your goals this year, you matter the entire year. You fucking matter for the entire year. And your goal matters for the entire year too. And you shouldn't quit. And you shouldn't let derailments be roadblocks that stop you or prevent you from becoming exactly who you are supposed to become. And prevent you from doing exactly what you want. And don't let, if your goal takes you off course and you go on an uncharted journey that you never calculated for, I hope you enjoy that journey. And I hope you know that that journey is just as important as the goal. Because what you do in the journey is the important part. Remember, those small things every day add up to the big goal? So I encourage you to find joy in the small things every day that you do to work towards the bigger picture. Find joy in being impeccable with your word to yourself, right? And if you've read the four agreements, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Being impeccable with your word does not necessarily mean to other people. Being impeccable to your word to yourself. That is magic. Because if you can keep a promise to yourself, you can keep a promise to anybody. But if you can keep a promise to yourself, the relationship that you build with yourself will be far greater than you could ever imagine. But because we are so quick to just slough ourselves off and say, oh, well, I've lied to myself once. What's twice? What's three times? You guys, it's a big deal. It's a big fucking deal. Do not lie to yourself. If you say, I'm going to do this, do it. Because you matter. Because it's worthy of you. Because it's who you want to be. And the only way you're going to get there is if you keep your word to yourself. Small habits make up the big goal. So believe in yourself. Give yourself 6 weeks, especially if you're going to the gym. If you're not going to the gym, do 6 weeks of planning. 6 weeks of how am I going to get to this goal? 6 weeks of how am I going to reach these things? Use these 6 weeks as research. Try new things. Try different things. I'm going to try a new recording app. I'm going to try doing videos. I'm going to try doing shorts. I'm going to try to put myself out there and stop shrinking myself this year. I am not shrinking myself for anyone. If you don't like me, I'm sorry. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. If you don't like me, I don't give a fuck. Period. Because I am a reflection of something you don't like inside of yourself. And that's a you problem and not a me problem. And you're going to have to figure that out. I encourage you to keep listening to me if you don't like me so you can figure it out, because I'm sure that I'm going to strike some chords inside of you that are going to send you on a journey you may not be prepared for. And that is beautiful. And I am so grateful that I can be that person. And if you need to reach out to me if you don't like me, you do it. Reach out, say something, because this year I am unapologetically me. And if you don't like it, oh fucking well. That's a you problem, because I love myself. And I hope you all love yourself too. And if you don't, I hope you go on a journey this year that leads you to a point where you can love yourself, where you can be unapologetically you. And the people that don't like you in your life, it's just because you strike a chord inside of them that they haven't dealt with. And that is a them problem. It is not a you problem. All right, my friends, if you found value in this, please share it with someone, because I would love to be able to touch as many people as I can this year. And I would love to be able to share my gift with as many people as I can, because you know what? We are going to do something incredible this year. We sure are. And if you are ready to do it, I encourage you to start by going inward. Take care of yourself. Find value in who you are. Believe in yourself. Challenge yourself. Be uncomfortable. Read books. I'm going to post on my Instagram, the Book of Jenna. I am going to post my book list, and I will post books as I finish them this year. I am also going to do more stories about the books that I'm reading, the value that I'm finding in them, so that you can come on this journey with me and you can find value in them and you can read them too. Because honestly, women, we are going to do the damn thing this year. And if you don't believe that, I'm really sorry. Find some belief in yourself, because that's why you don't believe it. So we're going to change creation this year. All right, my friends, I love you. I'm so proud of you. Do show up for yourself this year, okay? You deserve it. I know you do. I want you to know you do too. All right, much love, my friends.